Hi guys, I hope you all are doing great. I haven't posted on YouTube in a hot minute, like 6 months. I just have a lot going on, and I try to just post on my group as much as I can. But I promised you guys on Instagram, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Tradingwithaly. So I promised you guys I would show you how I caught my gold trade, only using $15 per pip as well. I always tell people that you don't have to use massive lot sizes. Like you can use $10 to $30 per pip, and you can make a lot of money as you compound it over time. Uh, there's this miscommunication that you need to use like $50 or like $100 or $200 per pip to make any decent money, and that's actually not true. And it's unrealistic to use high lot sizes like that, especially since 95% of people only have a specific amount of capital. So you don't want to go blowing your accounts and stuff like that. So you can use lower lot sizes and still make very great money. It really comes down to how many trades you're taking per month. If you're, day trading or swing trading and catching longer term trades, there's a lot that goes into it. So I wanted to show you how I caught the sell setup. So I replayed the market because I want to show you step by step what I was looking at. So these are one of my best setups, is basically 2 to 3 reactions at a major structure at a specific price, and then waiting for it to manipulate, and then if it doesn't, getting it at another price. So I'll explain what I was looking at. So I had a zone drawn here and here, and I attached two prices because the market's all about numbers, which majority of people don't teach because they don't actually know. But I've been doing this for 11 years, and like the last 7 years I've been using my system, and how I figured it out was literally just back testing. And I realized that the prices and numbers are so important, and majority of people have no idea how to use them. Okay, so basically we obviously know that gold is super bullish. Even today on Monday, it's still bullish, but we were waiting for a correction. So we ended up rejecting at 4,200, and we couldn't break below the 4,200. That's why we got this rejection. So we got a 1 hour confirmation. We got two tests into 205 price. So we got 1 hour confirmation, one test, two tests, and then continuation up. So we got manipulation here, tricking sellers to come into the market even though we're in a massive rejection area going up. So basically what's going to happen is this is going to reject from there and continue to go back up. So we ended up continuing all the way up to structure. So this is where it tested in. So we have one reaction, two reactions, and three reactions, and we tested into the 380, and then we closed at the base price at 377. So that is our confirmation that it's going to get ready to literally push down rapidly fast. So we're going to get a ton of sell momentum when there's three reactions at a top price and base price, and that's just what I've back tested over and over again, and it like really works. So realistically, I should have entered here, but I wasn't paying attention because of the fact that this is afternoon my time. So this is like 2 o'clock, and when the market closes, I try to actually avoid entering when the market is closing or late New York, just because of spreads, and you get charged for swap right away and stuff like that. So I wasn't looking at the market anyway, but I wouldn't have entered here regardless because of that daily closing. So anyway, so Sydney comes in and we retest the next section of prices, which is 369 and 366. Okay, so I was making sure that this top price was going to close and the base price. So Tokyo comes in, it ends up respecting it. So realistically, I should have took the trade at like 370, like here. So to get more confirmation, you go down to lower time frames. So here's the first reaction all coming in during Sydney. Here's the second, and the top price could not break, so it starts to close. So realistically, that should have been my entry, but I wasn't looking at the market at that time. But that's fine because I have 2 confirmations that price is ready to freaking drop it, basically. Okay, so this ends up coming up. And sorry, I'm going way too fast here. Okay, so Tokyo ends up coming up, and so I have my confirmation that this level is breaking. I have my confirmation that this level is breaking. So these are my 2 H4 confirmations. So this rejected twice. And so as I'm dropping down, we had a test into that major structure just like we did here. We had a retest, and then we keep closing below extra numbers. So that's what I do, is add in extra prices that have reacted in the past. So how I got this exact entry, let me just pull up my trade again just to make sure I'm giving you guys the right. So 433,715 is where I got it. Okay, so it was on the 5-minute time frame. So 433,715 is where I got it. So it was right here. I waited for a close, and then I waited for a test. So this is where I got in. So again, I could have, it was 105. That was my exact trade. So right here. So it was a break and test. I could have got in here at the 43, but again, I just wasn't watching the market at that time. So it ended up breaking and testing, and so I saw this 4337 close. So I ended up getting in here. I had literally no drawdown, and then basically it just tanked from there. So the lower that you go, the more price action you can see, like on the 5-minute, the 10-minute. So I was making sure that this next price where it reacted to previously was closing. So as you can see, like on the 10-minute or on the 15-minute, there's no way we would be able to enter. So that's why you drop down lower to the 5 or 1. Majority of my entries are between, I would say, 1 minute and 10-minute, just because you can see more price action on the number you want to enter on. Once I took the entry on the lower time frame on the 5-minute, I went back up to the 1 to follow through for my target. So that's one thing people really really struggle with, is you stay on the lower time frames to catch your targets, and that's exactly why you're scalping. So you're trying to hold a trade for as long as you can, because that's going to give you the biggest reward, and it's going to give you less risk, honestly. If you stay on the lower time frames, you're going to get very confused, and you're just going to keep taking multiple trades, and you're going to have zero system and zero strategy. So you want to make sure that when you take the entry on a specific price and you go from the 5-minute to the 1 hour, that you're taking the target on the 1 hour time frame and not staying on the lower time frames. So how do we find the targets on this? Okay, so we are looking left. I preach about this all the time. We are looking left at previous rejections in the market. So for example, like this would be target 1 that I would be looking at. You can have as many zones in here as you want, obviously, whatever makes you feel comfortable, but I just draw wherever it has reacted. Another thing too is, like, you can put at the candle base body, like right here, you can put numbers in here. Just with a line, you don't have to have like all the zones, but at each zone you want to have 2 prices in here, just so you can see like how the market reacts and what exact price you should take it off of and get out on. Okay. So yeah, so how I do this is I was thinking, okay, well, this is majorly going to drop because we had such strong confirmation at the top that that it should drop. You know, I was thinking 4,200, and then the lowest price I was thinking is 4,000. So I ended up getting out. So I'll show you guys. So this was my first target. So this is my first target, and then basically, what was my, so four, I just want to show you guys my final TP. I just want to have that in there quick. 4,358. Okay. So this was obviously my first target. And then basically what happened is we ended up breaking and testing that top price. We closed at the bottom price, the base price, and then we continued down. So obviously we continued down all the way to 254 and 251. So that ended up respecting. We got a little bit of a correction. Then London brought it down. New York starts to come in. We retested 70 and 266. We closed below 254 and 251. So we continued down. We see this little number line I added in. Look how well that retested just off of the reaction that I got from the left. Wild. And then so we continued down past 200. So this was 200 here. So we continued past down 200. And then basically all you have to do is look left. So we ended up, so I would have had a structure here, and I would have had a structure here and here. I mean, like I said, you could have as many as you want. All right, so it continued to drop during New York, and then so we came all the way down to 100, basically like 80, 480, and then 4,100. So then we started to correct. So I ended up taking profits. I think it was here. I think it was right before. I think it was right before New York was closing, because I was thinking that it was going to continue up higher. Like I thought it was going to continue up to fill this and this. And so basically it just continued past. So I was kind of being impatient, but I was already up like over 2,000 pips. I had like a 1 to 60 risk reward. So I was happy, and I risked $15 per pip. So it was a really good trade, and it happened so fast. Like it was super, super clean. So yeah, so it came all the way down, during during Tokyo. We ended up almost testing into the 4,000. So then it came up to correct a little bit. Then we continued down, and then we corrected up to this 140. We couldn't break above the 140, and then we started to continue down after that. So this is where we are currently in the market. So we actually hit the 4,000. We retested the 4,000, and now coming down. So looking left, that 3,980 would have to break below in order for this to continue down to like the 60s and 50s. If we look at a higher time frame perspective, this is like a major area. So like that 950 would have to break in order for continued sells. If the 950 doesn't break, then it will start to correct back up further, because again, the gold is extremely bullish. We're just in a correction phase right now. But that is exactly how I ended up catching my gold trade. So again, I could have entered earlier if I was looking at the market during Tokyo. The best prime entry out of this would have been this next zone, closing below these prices, just like it did previously here on the 17th and the 16th. So it tested into the high. This was the great confirmation. But just because you miss it at major structure, if you're not looking at the market, you can add in extra numbers and then just go to the 5-minute time frame, wait for the retests at these numbers, and then get in before it ends up dropping. I do that all the time, and it works out every single time. It's crazy. So So yeah, just kind of wanted to show you guys how I caught that since I didn't hold my buys. But yeah, if I should have held it obviously further, but I was just happy with like what the profit was. And obviously there's so many opportunities to get back in. So anytime you get out too soon. So another thing too is I should have set a stop loss in profit. Majority of the time I do that. So I would have set it at like 200, and then basically it would have just ran profits continuously and wouldn't have hit my stop loss in profit. I usually do that, but like I said, I was up such a big amount that I was happy with what I got, so I ended up taking profit. And the thing is like there's multiple opportunities to enter, so don't feel like you're ever missing out, because again, there's just so many opportunities every single day. And if someone is telling you like, oh, you have to wait weeks to get this trade, or you have to wait months or something like that, there's literally a trade every single day as long as the market is trending. And there is so many prices and stuff to get in on and out of. So really, really focus on pure price action and you will succeed.